Hi there, Josh Maret here with EdTech Support. Just wanted to make a quick video to help walk you through how to use files in Microsoft Teams. This video is by no means exhaustive on the subject. There are lots of things that I would love to share with you that I won't be able to right now, but I will walk you through the basics. So I'm going to get started by going over to one of my classes, which is Modern Languages 9. And in Modern Languages 9, I actually have a lot of different things that I've used, different ways that I've used files that I want to share with you. So if you go up to the top, I'm in the general channel, which is the one that will automatically populate when you create a team. At the top, you will always have files in the ribbon. So if you click on files, what's going to appear there right from the inception of the team, right from it being set up automatically, you're going to see a folder called class materials. You can create other folders to create a file structure if you want under new. You can also create Word documents, Excel workbooks, etc. right from within the team if you wanted to edit a file and have it land when it got saved directly in that team. But the nice thing about this class materials folder is that everything that goes into that class materials folder is read-only, which means that when your students access it, they actually can't change the files that are in that folder. Now, at the high school level, I haven't had any problem with kids editing my files or, if say I put a PowerPoint in there with them changing it or making any edits to it. But at younger grade levels, you might have students who might do that. So if you make a habit of putting things into class materials that you don't want messed with, lessons or PowerPoints or anything else, that would be the place to put them. All right, so once you have something in there, say I have something in my folder about Italian, a PowerPoint lesson, and I have a parent or a student that's writing me and they're saying, I don't know where to find lesson 3. I can actually click directly on the ellipsis on those 3 dots, and I can copy link. And if I copy that link, I can send that out in an email. I can paste it into the chat or anywhere else, and a student will be able to go click directly on that, or a parent can click directly on that to find the file. So once you've got files in there, it's very easy to direct people how to find them if they're having difficulty with it. Students can also download them, so they can make their own copy of something. If you put a file in there, you don't want them to mess with the original, but say it's a worksheet, or in my case, I quite often with my PowerPoints will have fill in the blank spots with them so that the students have an interactive lesson. They can download a copy and make their own edits, and then they have their edited copy, blanks filled in order to study for any kind of a project or assignment that they might be doing. You can also do something in these files. So if I go to, I've set up a different channel for each of the different units that we do, and you'll notice that each channel will actually have its own file system within there. Now again, this is not a class materials folder, so anything that's in here, a student could edit. So be aware of that. If you want to change permissions, you would have to actually set those permissions manually so that people aren't able to edit them. One of the things that will start at default is that when you have guests, invitees, visitors to your teams, so say you have parents that are in there, their rights to edit files are not there, so they actually can't change files. Only people that are members of the team. So in my case, that would be students. I use a numbering system when I am creating my files so that they are easy to see. And if I have something that I think is important, I can actually click again. I can click on those 3 dots. I can pin it to the top. When I pin it to the top, it's going to create this little thumbnail, and it's going to post it up right where students can see it. That's a really easy way of putting a file or emphasizing a file so that it's easy for a student to find it or a parent. The other thing that I tend to do with my files is that you'll notice that down here, here's Spanish Intro Online Delivery. That's a PowerPoint. And if I click on those three dots again, I can also do something called make this a tab. So I can turn a file into a tab. So within each of these different channels, these different, which might be units for you. So say you're teaching science, and then each one of these could be a unit, and you would put your PowerPoints in there and then turn them into tabs. So there is that PowerPoint right there. I've turned it into a tab already, and a student can click on that tab and it will actually bring up that PowerPoint directly inside of the that channel itself. So you notice there's 7 more, so they can actually see all of the different little lessons that I have put into there. Okay, so files, very useful. Where they actually go when you put those files into there is to a cloud software that is part of Microsoft's system. It's called SharePoint. The only reason I mention that is because some people may have discovered that you can also drag and drop a file into the chat, into this posts section. If you drag and drop a file into there, it will actually show up in your files, but it won't be subject to the same rules and permissions that exist if you put the files directly into there, because it actually is going into OneDrive on the other end, and so it's actually the chat and the file section actually go to two different places. Okay, not super important to know that, except that what happens then is that they will actually just show up at the very bottom of your files list, and then unless you move them somewhere, they aren't organized. SharePoint is just nice because if you ever want to go into SharePoint and see your files in one place, change all your permissions in one place, if all your files are there in the same place from the beginning, it just makes your life that much easier. Adding a file is super easy in this system. I can drag and drop a file from my regular Windows File Explorer. So if I have a file in my own OneDrive as a teacher, or in my downloads or whatever, I can drag it right into this file section. I just drag it onto the window. It will have a little plus and it will say copy, and then I let go of my mouse button and that file will drop into that files section. I can also click on this upload button, right? And then there's again a different but the same way of doing things. So if I wanted to add a file, right, I could literally click on any of these and I could hit open, and again, it will upload it directly into here. If I hit this copy link up here, this link will take a student or parent or whatever to this entire files section. If I want to share a specific file, again, it is in the ellipsis. I want to copy link to that specific file. I can delete things if I upload them by accident up here, and I can open in SharePoint. Right, I can select multiple files at the same time, and then I can delete them, move them, download them, make copies. So say I have a different section that I'm teaching one semester to the next, I can copy my files over from one to the other. There's also this checkout feature, which I don't typically use. I haven't found a use for it yet. So if you find a useful way to use that, feel free to let me know. Generally, I don't need people to be able to basically borrow my files at all. All right, so that's my quick introduction, 10 minutes to using the files system in Teams. If you have any questions for me, just feel free to send them my way. Remember that the EdTech team is also available. We have changed our EdTech support ticket so that it now includes requests for professional learning. So if you're looking to dive deeper into any of these topics and you'd like one of us to come out and spend some time with you, feel free to put in one of those EdTech support tickets and we would be happy to help you. Thanks and have an excellent day.